Q Parker's in the building,
Yes.
baby. Yeah. What's up, brother?
I'm well. I'm well. How about you?
Man, we good, man. So you're back now. You got
Yeah.
a new song called Beg that's
Yeah.
out right now.
Out right now.
Talk about this song and, why this song, what angle you going with it. What are you trying to bring back to the game?
So my goal is to bring begging, making it a normality.
I like it.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily the traditional definition of the word beg. Yeah, that exists. People are going to beg when they need to be forgiven or when they are pleading for something.
Mm-hmm.
But this definition, my definition of begging is deeds, actions. Because I feel like if you are in a space where you're consistently begging whatever it is that you want, it'll be at the ready position. And so it's by saying, hey, I value you. I love you. I care about you. You're worthy. And because of all of these things, I'm just going to do nice things for you. And I'm saying we're interpreting nice things as our form of begging.
So that's like a love language, like
It is.
not gift giving, but what is it?
It's all of those.
Something of action. What is it? Well, you know the love language is.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to get
acts
to.
of service.
Acts of service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acts of service.
But it's all of them is acts of service. It is words of affirmation.
Yeah.
It's gifts. It's quality time.
Oh yeah, I like this. Come on, fellas, listen.
It's all of those things. But hold on. But here's the catch, though.
Uh-oh.
Here's the catch.
Always a catch.
Begging season in today's time, in this Q Parker season of begging, is gender. It's not a gender. So men, yes, beg for your woman, but women beg for your man too.
Oh, I don't know about this song anymore.
Now you're not
See what I'm
down no more.
saying? Listen,
Come on,
see?
man.
Nah, but the reality is, customarily, the man is going to should do great deeds to make a woman feel special, to make her feel worthy, cared for, and all of those things. But ladies, don't be fooled by the strong structure and the presentation of strength and all of those things
Right.
to assume that a man doesn't want those same things in return. I'm telling you right now, to my wife, I want to be begged for. I want to
Yeah.
come home and be met at the door with a big old hug and a smile like, hey, I've missed you. But I'm also, when I hear the garage door go up, I'm going to meet you at the door to help get the groceries and
See,
do
well,
all of
that's
those.
the-
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And
That's
so
the real 50
They don't.
50.
You ain't been watching the
Yeah.
internet, man. They don't want to do that. That's 50-50. That sounds too much like
Hey,
No,
50-50.
everybody is saying that they're down with it. I feel like more people are saying they're down with it. He's a troll. Down with the 50-50 thing. But I do think like it does get to be blurred lines when it comes to like what would a guy want in terms of like you guys could send flowers, like a simple gesture. I feel like I got to do a bit more. Like what would be equivalent to flowers for a man?
send me flowers.
You want flowers.
I want flowers.
You like flowers.
I just want the deed because
Yeah.
the deed says you thought enough of me to pick up a phone, to get in your car, to go to a flower shop, to put an address so that they would deliver it to me. To me, that is it's the act more so than it is the thing. So if today you decided you wanted to send me flowers, I'm gonna receive those
Y'all
those
gonna
flowers.
leave him on the counter
with a-
without
with a-
the vase on it.
They're gonna run out of water. But he's appreciative.
And the
is what he's
reality
saying.
is, we're probably going to leave them on the counter. However, the thought behind the flowers for me is going to have you getting whatever it is you want from me.
But let's talk
Oh,
about
okay.
the obvious thing about Beg as well. Like the music nowadays doesn't really lend itself to what the 90s did in terms of like that begging perspective. You know what I mean? The guys, you guys back in the days, and a lot of the R&B artists were singing to women like, baby, please, let me come see you. I want to have you. You know what I mean? And we're missing.
Now you're
What's
like,
that?
oh, get over here and give me throat.
And
Right, reaching out, right. And now it's like, throat babies.
Throat
and
baby.
F you back to sleep.
Yeah,
You know what
I'm
I'm
like,
saying?
Great.
So you bringing back just that perspective in the R&B game says something in itself.
I think when you put on the uniform as a male R&B artist, there's certain guidelines that I think our forefathers or our OGs, they gave us the greatest alley-oop. And there should be a sensuality to your delivery. The goal for us as male R&B singers is to sing to women. But I can take it a step further as a creator, as a songwriter, as a producer, and say that I speak to women in my songs, but I also am now speaking for men. to help translate and communicate the messaging,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, it's about, we want everybody to have healthy relationships. So if I can sing a song like Cupid to say, hey, let's not misinterpret when I say I love you to mean I've done some shit wrong. I've done something wrong. When I say, hey, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'll beg for you. I'm not begging because I did something wrong. I'm not begging because you don't call this or that. It's just because I love you. And if a song like Beg will go into somebody that's listening's home or in their car, and then they start to live out this song, then now that's one relationship that is now has an opportunity to get in the healthy place or stay in a healthy place. And that's really what we want. We want to have healthy relationships.
It's
That's
almost
it.
like there are none anymore.
That's all we
But
want.
there's some, but few and far between. It's not like put on a pedestal like the toxic relationships, like we see the Blueface and the Krishan Rock.
Yeah.
That's everywhere. But you've been with your wife for a long
22
time.
years.
22 years,
Yeah.
and we're not seeing that image.
Yeah. I mean, and let's be real. To be with somebody for 22 years, there are peaks and valleys, and you know you have to withstand certain storms and all of that. But I think the beauty in it is you figure out a way to maintain and sustain the love. And the way that I've learned that this works is you have to do some consistent and some even begging.
Yeah.
I do it, she does it, and it has worked for us. But just want to encourage everybody like to incorporate this new definition of begging that'll hopefully ensure healthy relationships, because that's all we really want.
I love that.
All right.
Kyle, haven't you been married 22
Same
years?
time, 22 years.
That's
Congrats.
so weird. What's
Congrats.
what's your
All right,
anniversary dates? What if they're the same?
August 10th, that's crazy. Mine's August 3rd.
I told you. That's so weird.
We got married a week apart.
Oh,
that's
that's
wild,
crazy.
Bro. That is
What
crazy.
state did you get married
in
in?
Atlanta.
All right, I was in North
Him
Carolina.
too. No, no.
I was in North Carolina.
Same church,
Oh,
same
yeah,
pastor.
So I mean, I do
That's
want to talk about
hilarious.
some relationships, because although you've had a successful one with your wife, you have a situation. You're not with your group anymore.
Yes.
You and 112 are not together. So is there like an issue there? Will y'all never be back together, or are you focusing on yourself?
Well, right now the focus is definitely Q Parker. First and foremost, let me just give a shout out to Slim, Mike, and Duran. We did some amazing things. Even to Bad Boy, shout out to Bad Boy, Puffy.
Well, I don't know if you
Like,
want to
we-
do
we
that right
did-
now.
No, you know, you still gotta give acknowledgments for
Yeah.
what was done,
Okay, right.
regardless of the current state. I'm never gonna be the guy to shy away from acknowledgement and recognition. We did a lot of great things, but I just think right now for me, the focus is Q Parker, and you know, only time will tell when you know true reconciliation or when it's time for a reunion and all of those things. And so, you know, I just encourage the fans to just keep loving the catalog, keep loving the versions of 112 that you will see on the road. Support the members individually with whatever they are doing or we are doing, in hopes that one day soon you'll get a reunion from 112. But right now, my focus is Q Parker.
And I think
Yeah.
that's the best way to go about it. I've definitely seen y'all unite before on like the Bad Boy reunion tour, and I believe that y'all will. We all go through our differences, have growing pains in different situations. Was it like something specific though that you?
Yeah,
were just
I mean,
like,
just internal stuff that we just had creative differences, and but with respect to that, you know, it has given me an opportunity to, like, I look at it this way: a group like 112 is so evenly talented to where the lifting is evenly distributed, right? And so for years, I only had to master 25%. Because if I get to 26%, I'm now going into somebody
you're stepping on
else's
somebody's
lane.
toes. a little.
Right.
Mhm.
And so what that means is for years, I've had a 75% reserve just sitting
Can't grow.
That
in
you
a
haven't
closet
used.
somewhere. As Q Parker now, I get to now have fun with all these years of 75% that I had to store over to the side. And so now what you're getting is a free 100% Q Parker, who is an entrepreneur, who is a philanthropist, who is an artist, a songwriter, a mentor, a family guy, a community guy, an activist.
Yeah.
Like it's
You
all
could
of
be
those.
all you
like
Right.
I
you wanted to
really
be.
have the
Your
room
full
now
self.
to be my full Quintus Parker.
And
But
you
you
ain't
know-
got to perform that one record you ain't like performing. What was it? What was it?
I loved all of them.
There wasn't no choreography that you was like, damn it, I hate when we do this spin around move.
Nah, I loved all of them, man. Yeah.
You know what's interesting about that too, though, bro? Because I can't currently think of a current male R&B group. It's like all of the groups have either disbanded or went solo, and even the ones that lasted over time and still perform together, like New Edition. And when they come out and talk about the stuff that they went through back in the day, it's like, damn, y'all was beefing the whole time.
Yeah, because Bobby couldn't come out for a number of years. They didn't let Bobby come on the road.
do you think with the history that groups have gone through, your group included, that it shies people away from even making new groups, R&B groups?
I don't think that it shies people away, but I just think we have to be realistic. You know, you're trying to get 4 individuals, sometimes 5 and 6, for years, compromise, sacrifice, commit to the same objective, put in the same amount of work,
Split the money.
split the money, right? All of those things. And in the middle of that, you know, certain guys are having families, so now different priorities. Some guys are getting married. Some guys can't stay all night in the studio no more because now they got to get up to take
The
kids
kids,
to school.
yeah.
And so you just have to be
Side
mindful.
chicks.
You got to be mindful of different responsibilities, different focuses. And so you just have to be mindful that over time there are going to be differences. But then I would say kudos to the groups that have figured out still how to maintain and sustain themselves. Jagged Edge is one of them. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they've always been together. So big shout out to the twins, Kyle.
But they're also
one of my best
twins,
friend,
so like
Wingo.
one
Yeah.
of two of them. That's a big reason to stay together.
Even New Edition, you know, they fight through the differences to
Right.
still be able to come together.
Yeah.
And that's something to be acknowledged.
That's what's up.
Shout out to them for that.
See, I love that you're doing your solo thing, but I can't wait till y'all are able to get on the same page, piece it up as brothers, and
Yeah.
get back together. We know, and
Yeah.
we deep down we know that's gonna happen. Stay away from Diddy though, because when I think about, and I get that he's a part of your legacy, but sometimes I do feel like you could tarnish something to the point of no return. Right now, when you say his name, it gets a little cringy because when you say, I wasn't even thinking about it. But then he, like I said, is a part of your legacy. Now, how is it that things transpired over the years? I know you seen in the beginning, Diddy was a different Diddy versus when y'all were on the road for a reunion. So did y'all have conversations? Did you see the difference in the change, or was that just?
So my interaction with Puffy was always very short.
Okay.
Either, you know, being from Atlanta, we always have lived here. We lived in New York for 4 years at a time, a period of time of 4 years. And so it was really going to the studio, recording, going back to our apartment,
Yeah.
or going to the studio, or flying up to New York to play music, then coming back home. But we were always on the road, so we didn't really have a whole lot of interaction. And so when I think of, you know, my interaction with Diddy, it's the fact that he gave me an opportunity. So regardless of anything, I will always recognize him for changing my life and my family's trajectory and just what I'm able to do. Even being here today, I'm here today
That's
because
true.
of an
That's true.
initial investment, vision, or a mentor from 93. And so I keep my perspective there because I know what my interactions with him was. But all I do now is I wish well. I do well wishes. I'm always in constant prayer for him. And I just don't want my vision of him to be tarnished because of what's going on in the media and in the world today.
Do you feel like you got your fair share financially? Because even like aside from this, he's already had the rumors of like the situation wasn't fair with Biggie, and then Mace speaking out, and then the Lock speaking out. Everybody can't just be making these things up.
You know, I don't know what other people's deals were. I know what ours was, but I just go back to say we were issued what was then the standard version of a record deal.
Right.
If you got a record deal in the 90s, it was pretty much going to be identical because the gatekeepers were only, or the executives were only given what was given to them from the higher ups as this is what a record deal is going to look like and is. And, fortunately for myself and my group, we were able to have a successful career enough to live out the first contract. It's almost like when you, as an athlete, you sign a rookie deal. You got a ball out of control, and then you go get your max deal.
Yeah.
And so in my world, our original record deal was like a rookie contract, where you make some money, but you don't really make what's really for you. You got to go out and prove yourself. Well, we proved ourselves with 2 double platinum albums.
I know that's right.
With crazy numbers. And so when it came time for us to renegotiate, that's when we did the merging deal with Def Jam, Bad Boy and Def Jam, and now we were able to go and then sign our max.
Y'all were a humongous group. That's why, like, humongous.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I was playing the album, driving it.
Facts.
I love it. I love it.
Lo brought up Bad Boy. What I wanted to ask you was, man, tell me about one of your favorite Biggie memories.
Wow, it's so funny. We were just talking about a lot of those stories. I think I have so many big memories, yo. When I tell you, man,
That's dope.
He meant the world to me. I can speak from the group's perspective, but I'll just hone it in to just me. Because as the newest artist to Bad Boy, so the original 5 was Craig, Big, Faith, Total, and 112. That was the original starting 5, right? To be the youngest of the 5, Big was just like the big brother. And so I can remember, times of us coming to the studio, and his first words to us would be, "Did y'all eat today?"
Really?
And if we hadn't eaten, he would give all of us $100 bills, a C note. But then he would make sure we had clothes, because being from the South, when we moved to New York in '96, that was the '96 blizzard. So we didn't have.
That's where y'all got them Bensons from. I knew that wasn't that. That wasn't an Atlanta swag.
So we didn't have the coats, man. He took us down to the village, bought us the big goose downs.
Yeah.
He would always lace us with Brooklyn Mint gear. But then I remember this one time we were in the studio and we were having like a difficult time in the lab, and it was in the beginning, and Puff would come in and out of our sessions. Change this, don't do this, change it, da da da. But we knew that Puff signed us because we could write our own songs. Duran as a producer, so we was really a self-contained unit. But he would come in and just like micromanage. We'd be like, "Yo, I wish you would just stay out of our sessions." And one time, Big came into the studio and was like, "Yo, what's wrong with y'all?" We was like, "Yo, man, Puff won't give us the room to just really do what we do." He said, "All right, 1 second." Puff came in the room. He was like, "Hey, yo, you signed these boys because they dope, right?" Puff was like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, let them do what they do." And from that moment on, man, like, we never had no issues.
I love that.
I have another story of, I think Big was in a car accident.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so he was in a wheelchair. We'd had a show in Long Island. We hadn't come out yet. Everybody from the studio went to Long Island to see. When I say Big rocked in a wheelchair,
Wow.
it instilled in our minds like, yo, no matter what, the show has to go on and give these people their money's worth.
Yeah,
man, I want to go back to the 90s. This is whack. Ain't nothing going on now. I felt like I was there.
Right.
My wheelchair was hiding in everything, wasn't it?
Man. Yeah.
That's dope.
You know
bro.
what? So something just recently, you mentioned Craig Mack's name. Something recently just came out, and me thinking about like back in the day, how everybody was so private. We didn't know who y'all were dating. We didn't know about y'all relationships. It was very few and far between. And it got out and it leaked that Craig Mack actually, his cause of death was HIV or AIDS.
Wow.
And the Rolling Stone put that information out just this week. So, like, when it comes to, like, think about, like, the privacy that y'all had back in the day versus anybody being able to tell your business. How do you move in the environment being like that now?
Man, I just think that, we just live in a world where everything is a moment. Everything can be used as a moment, clickbait, and all of those. And so I just say, just try to move in a way of transparency, honesty, keep your nose clean, and just, be a positive contributor to the community and to the culture. I feel like if you have those components, man, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. But I mean, there are people everywhere you turn around, ready to get a moment, ready to shine on you, ready to be the reason why something makes it to the internet. And so I just think, man, you especially if you're a person of influence, you have a following and all those things, like don't just give nobody nothing to create a story around.
Yeah. Did something ever get out about you or the group that maybe wasn't true that y'all felt like you had to have a little, damage control over?
Nah, not necessarily. Like we were a group that always kept the main thing the main thing. Show up, do your job, leave a lasting impression so that somebody would want to have you come again. Be true to the music, sound like the records.
That's important.
Yeah, y'all definitely
give
always
a dope
sound like the
performance,
record.
man, and go to the next city and just rinse, repeat. What
You
is
need
it?
to teach a course
Wash,
on that
rinse,
because
repeat.
when I sit here and think about it, it's not really a lot of like bad or good story. Like all I
Yeah.
know is y'all would come and shut it down,
Yeah.
but there was no like tea
Right.
out
Yeah.
about 112. Like
Right.
112
Yeah.
did
It
this.
was quiet. Yeah.
Nah,
They
we-
used
we-
to say 112 fucking all the bitches, but I don't know that.
I
Room
mean,
112,
where
where
the
the
players
players
dwells. Hey, man, and another thing about, Big, like you said, hey, yo, media training 101, baby. Media training 101.
Learn that.
That's
Learn
right.
that.
That's right.
But it's interesting you said Room 112 because that just brought back another memory. I love Big because as his little brothers, he made sure. First of all, he entered us into the industry.
Mm-hmm.
That's the greatest alley-oop that anybody could have. Your first single have the Notorious B.I.G. on your record.
Jesus,
Yeah.
the notorious just
like, come on, man.
Come on, yeah.
Right?
I did that in a talent show. I was Biggie because that was my favorite. I want to be big. They're like, you're not a guy. I don't want to be big.
But I mean, he kept us in his records.
Yeah.
Room 112, What's Shaking, 112, CD Blast. Like
Always.
he
Yep.
just kept shouting
did.
out his brothers, man. And that to me is those are the memories that I hold close. So when his anniversary of his passing comes, it's always a moment for me.
Yeah.
And for the world too, but for me especially, yeah.
For sure. For sure.
I love that.
Q Parker, man, we appreciate you sliding by. We
Absolutely.
want
Thank
everybody
y'all.
to check out the single Beg. Is it
Yes.
leading up to an album though?
Yes, we will be releasing an album first quarter of next year, and it's just an album about life, love, and relationships,
Yeah.
and just a contribution to having these relational conversations.
That's what's
So
up.
yeah, man,
That's what's
I
up.
love that. Do you speak to anybody else from the label, from Bad Boy back in the day?
as much as I can,
Yeah.
as much as I can. Like I think every so often they have like a reunion. And a lot of the executives, a lot of the just people that worked at Bad Boy come together, and so I like to attend those because it's just really good. It's just like it's like a class reunion.
Yeah.
We did some great work together for those 20, 15 years, and so to see people in there, they've diversified. They're restaurant owners.
Right.
They're
On
business-
Love and Hip Hop,
just-
like Rich
just
Dollars.
other stuff.
Can you
Yeah,
believe
man.
that?
Like to see that, it's really, really dope. It's really dope.
That's what's up. Well, keep doing your thing, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Slide by,
absolutely.
hang out with us anytime, man.
Absolutely.
Q Parker. You
Yes.
already know what it is,
Oh,
man.
no,
Say
I
it.
ate him up the other day at Baddie's Brunch, though. Y'all ain't talking about how I battled
You
him.
did. You
And
did.
I ate him up.
You did.
took
You
him
did.
out.
Yeah. You did. You did.
That's the Mona Hustle.
That was
Yeah.
so good. I love those Biggie stories.
Yeah. Okay, for sure. Speaking of Beg, let's take a second, bro, man, and get into your single for the people that are listening right now, man. Set this up and set
Yes.
the stage for the song.
So I am Q Parker. The new single is called Beg. And yo, we just begging because it's Monday, Tuesday, any day of the week. We just making begging a regular occurrence. So this is Q
Yeah.
Parker. It's begging season, y'all. Let's beg.
Let's do it. It's the Mona Hustle.
Not on Cash App.
I got you. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, baby, that's the brand new one from Q
Please.
Parker. You
Baby,
just
baby,
heard
baby,
Beg.
We begging just because, man. Shout out to all the OGs, man, that made begging a thing, and I got the baton, and we're gonna usher in this new season of begging.
Our guy Alton Walker said y'all don't do body rolls no more. You gonna bring the body rolls back?
I mean, if it's necessary, we're gonna do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
We are the morning hustle.